Just directing the film, it's probably about the hardest gig I've ever done in my life. And it wasn't as big as Braveheart with all the horses and people and stuff, but there were more precise things that had to happen in it. We talked to a lot of people, archaeologists and professors, and there was a lot of reading to be done. So that was pretty interesting, the social mores, the customs, their beliefs.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Hollywood is falling apart. Disney is bleeding billions, and audiences are rejecting woke propaganda. But now, a Hollywood legend is stepping in to bring back real cinema. Mel Gibson is done playing by their rules. And if the rumors are true, he's about to build something that could change the industry forever. Reports suggest that Gibson has everything in place for a 2025 announcement, the launch of a brand new movie studio. And he's not alone. Other major names are allegedly involved, making this project a direct challenge to Disney and everything. It stands for, this could be the final blow to Hollywood's agenda-driven content. Audiences have been begging for quality storytelling, something Disney has completely failed to deliver. But if Gibson is making his move, this could be the game changer that brings Hollywood back to its roots. Stay tuned. This is just the beginning.
In Disney's SEC filing, we face risks relating to misalignment with the public and consumer tastes and preferences for entertainment, travel, and consumer products, which impact demand for our entertainment offering and products and that profitability of any of our businesses. We face risk related to changes in our business strategy or restructuring of our business, which has affected and may continue. This past summer, Disney stock had hit a 9-year low, with its marketing cap falling from $350 billion in March of 2022 to $154 billion, a decline of, Vinny, you ready? They lost $196 billion in 1 year.
What?
$196 billion, a 56% drop.
Ask most people what their number one fear is. What do you think it is? Most people's number one fear is public humiliation. Okay. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not afraid of it.
I've never seen Hollywood quite so shaken by anything. It's a little late, so we'll see how it all shakes down. Hopefully it clears the air a little bit.
Generally passively sit by and tolerate any kind of nonsense, but if one of their priests utters something that resembles orthodoxy, well then they spring into action, they reprimand him, and they bully him and do their best to cancel him. And it succeed. They drum him out of the service, off he goes.
Hollywood used to be about great storytelling. Now, it's about pushing agendas, and audiences are rejecting it. Disney, once the ultimate entertainment powerhouse, is paying the price for prioritizing politics over creativity. In just over a year, Disney has lost nearly $200 billion in market value. Their latest movies, like The Marvels and Indiana Jones 5, were complete box office disasters, proving that moviegoers are done with woke content. Even Disney's own SEC filing admits they have a serious problem, acknowledging that they face risks due to a misalignment with consumer tastes, which is corporate speak for. Audiences are rejecting what they're selling, but despite this, Disney keeps doubling down on its failing strategy. For decades, Disney was the go-to studio for families, creating timeless classics loved by all. But in recent years, they've chosen to prioritize social messaging over good storytelling. And now, audiences are walking away. Take Wish, Disney's big 100th anniversary movie. It was supposed to be a grand celebration, yet it flopped hard. And Bob Iger, the man who once built Disney into a giant, he came back to fix the company, but he's part of the problem. Iger is the one who put Disney's current leadership in place. The same people responsible for these failures. Now, analysts predict Disney might sell off assets to Apple just to stay afloat. With so many back-to-back flops and billions lost, the real question is, how much longer can Disney afford to ignore its audience? The brand that once defined childhood. Magic is now a cautionary tale of what happens when you put activism before entertainment. And while Disney scrambles to fix the mess they created, Mel Gibson and others are building an alternative Hollywood. One focused on real storytelling, not political agendas. The tide is turning. Are you ready for the change?
Everything was going well, so you decided you needed to do a story about the Christ.
Yeah.
Because now, was that a calling, would you say, or was that another challenge?
It was
or?
just something that got into my head about it was I just kept having visions about it, you know, and about, you know, what was that like 12 hours like? And what was that really like? I mean, what does it mean to get scourged and crucified, and the significance of what one single event and what one God-man has done historically and changed civilization. I mean, this is like an amazing thing. The social contract. You can't get mad.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get mad. You can't let it get you, because you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken that you are going to be fucked over at some point. From beginning to end, it's very brief. He says, women on film, either naked or dead. Both is better.
Mm.
And it's like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Actually, I asked Mel to present this award to me for a reason, because when I couldn't get sober, he told me not to give up hope, and he urged me to find my faith. Didn't have to be his or anyone else's, as long as it was rooted in forgiveness.
It does feel different. I think because, I don't know, I think just because I've been around longer, it's different. I'm more relaxed about the whole thing, you know, because there's no point being anything else, right?
It's true.
So, you know, I'm not going to get all wound up about it. I'm going to just try and like observe.
In an era where Hollywood became obsessed with ticking political boxes instead of telling real stories, one man refused to follow the crowd. Mel Gibson has never played by Hollywood's rules. His films are raw, powerful, and unapologetic. When Hollywood rejected his faith-driven masterpiece, The Passion of the Christ, no major studio would touch it. But Gibson didn't back down. He funded it himself, released it independently, and the result? A $600 million box office juggernaut? One of the most successful independent films of all time. Gibson knew the film would be controversial, but even he wasn't prepared for the firestorm that followed. Critics slammed it as too violent, too brutal, but that was the whole point. He wasn't making a Hollywood-friendly version of Christ's suffering. He wanted audiences to feel the pain, the sacrifice, the reality. Gibson spent years researching Roman crucifixion methods, ensuring historical accuracy, and by his own admission, the truth was even worse than what he depicted on screen. The backlash wasn't just from critics. Hollywood itself turned against him. No major studio would distribute the film. They wanted it buried. Gibson was blacklisted, mocked, and called extreme for telling a story that resonated with millions. In his own words, Hollywood treated The Passion of the Christ like a turd, something to be flushed away and forgotten. But audiences had a different response. While Hollywood insiders mocked it, The Passion of the Christ became a global phenomenon, shattering expectations and proving there was a massive audience for films that dared to challenge the Hollywood status quo. And now, Mel Gibson is building a new future for Hollywood. While Gibson rises, Disney falls. The entertainment giant that once dominated the industry is crumbling. In just 1 year, Disney lost nearly $900 million from box office disasters. Their big animated release, Wish, crashed and burned. For years, Marvel movies were unstoppable, but the Marvels flopped hard, proving that superhero fatigue is real. And Indiana Jones 5, fans weren't excited to see an 81-year-old Harrison.